Hey guys, so I've never done an IG live before, but I wanted to start doing garden tours this year inspired by Roots and Refuge Farm. I decided that it's a good way for me to learn and for me to just share some of the mistakes I've made, so maybe you don't make them. I love Jess on Roots and Refuge Farm. She talks about her garden being a learning experience and us learning from her mistakes. So I've made a lot of them, and I'm just going to start off and show you what we got going on, because we want to really start upping our growable area every year. So we've done that this year, and we're getting ready to start really planting everything, but we've got some stuff in the ground. So I'm just going to get at it. So we are in the greenhouse. It's a little messy. I was kind of waiting for it to be clean, but I think it's time to just get started. So we'll start here. This is one of the first beds I planted. These are my onions and my radishes, and they are coming in. This is actually the second round of radishes, because the first round we started getting critters and they all got eaten. So we set up these mouse traps. We have 2 of them going. You can see that over there. And those seem to be doing the trick. We've caught some mice. They are, what do you call them? Non-cruel traps. So we can catch them. They're live. We let them out, and we take them like far away to let them out so they don't come back. This right here is our carrot bed. And we've got tons of carrots growing, which I'm really excited about. We're hoping to be able to do a couple of rounds of the carrots this year. I also did some onions by seed, which you can see kind of coming up here. And then there's some ones here. So we'll see how those take and how they do. And then we also have our first bean. This is a bush bean. I kind of made a mistake with that guy, but I'm going to be planting some flowered, pole beans, or the ones that grow up the trestle, actually later today. So I'm going to be doing that later today. I'm going to plant some over here. We also have a little watermelon coming up right there. Okay. This is our lettuce pyramid, and it has been doing awful. I've been working with a pest specialist, and he's saying that there's been a lot of bugs that was actually in the potting soil this year. So that is what I think is eating some of this stuff. But we do have just a tiny bit of little mustard seed coming up. We have some arugula and some arugula going there. I'm going to try planting another round of basil and mustard seed and lettuce in here today. So as I mentioned 2 weeks ago, or maybe it was last weekend, I went to plant all this and it was still too early. A lot of it died. So I planted a bunch of eggplants and peppers, and only a couple of these baby peppers survived. This bell pepper I thought died, but I think it might come back. We'll see how that goes. And then the cabbage stayed strong. And then I planted some cantaloupe over in this corner and some summer squash in that corner. So I'm hoping they kind of grow out in this unusable area. I planted them at the edge of the boxes. So over here, once again, kind of lost. I planted 2 tomatoes and then this pumpkin plant, and oddly enough, this one pumpkin survived. Woohoo! Okay. And then in here, I planted some more peppers. We have one that survived. This is mint. We have so much mint in here growing like crazy. It's totally a weed, but we can make mint mojitos, mint lemonade, all kinds of things. I have way too much of it. It grows like a weed. But I'm actually going to pick this out so it doesn't interfere with my pepper. But there's another pepper. This little pepper survived. This little pepper survived. This is a big Jim hot pepper. This was like a lemon habanero, and this is a Caribbean hot red. I did lots of hot peppers because my husband loves hot sauce. This is another bell pepper that died. I don't think it's going to come back, but maybe. I mean, we'll see. I might just leave it for a bit and see what happens. Take off the dead leaves. And then here is a cherry tomato plant that survived. This is a black cherry tomato, and then a pumpkin was right here, but that died. So I'm going to plant another pumpkin there to grow off into that area. So heading on out, we got our berry patches. So as you can see, our raspberries are coming back strong. I planted some sunflowers over here in this area, and I don't think any of them are coming up, but we'll see what happens. In here, I've planted some cabbage, and nothing's come up yet, but I'm hopeful. And then I have 2 little cauliflower plants, and we'll see how those go. But this whole area, that raised bed, and that raised bed still need to be planted. I'm in the middle of hardening off those plants, so we'll see how that goes. This is a potato patch that's been planted. Nothing's coming up here yet. Here's another potato patch. And as you can see, we got some sprouts going. Super exciting. I planted a lot of potatoes this year, so we'll see how that goes. These are some Logan berries that are starting to come up. I need to weed this area. Here's another potato patch. These are blackberries that were coming in a lot stronger, and then we kind of got a frost and they kind of died back, but I think that they're going to come back. Once again, I kind of got to weed this grass out. I mean, this grass is just crazy, but another project, another day. This is our asparagus patch, and we're in the second year of the asparagus. Our chickens got into here a little bit, so it was going a little stronger, and then some of them got eaten, but otherwise we're letting these go to seed. It's going to lay more seeds. There's some purple asparagus coming in. Anyways, hopefully maybe next year and 2 more years that'll be a super strong patch. This is led to be planted. I planted some squashes on the other side, and then I'm hopeful to plant some sweet potatoes, but I had left my sweet potato starters in the greenhouse, and I need to see if they come back. As you can see, I made some mistakes this year. This bed, I planted carrots that have yet to come up. I don't know if they will, but I also planted some onions, and those are coming up. And then what I plan to do with this area is we're actually going to build a trestle, and I'm going to do some Chinese noodle beans. And then we're also going to do another trestle right here. And I'm going to do some Kanjari personal melons, which I'm really excited to try. It's another recommendation from Jess at Roots and Refuge Farm. So that's all the plantable space here. This is what we call our orchard. We're in our 3rd year of these trees. This one's doing super hot. This is an apple tree. We have some apricot, peach, and cherry trees, and all these ones aren't doing quite as well, and that's because last year the deer got in and ate them. So we have so many critters up here. I'm learning how to navigate that. We'll see how that goes. But like I said, always learning lessons. I'm super excited about this guy because this is our blueberry plant that we transplanted. I think I did like a reel or something like that, or maybe it's just in my stories. But anyways, these little buds, they're totally starting to come up. So I think that this blueberry plant is going to survive, and I'm super excited about that. We have one more here, which I feel like I see some sprouts and some buds coming, but nothing's actually shot out yet. So we'll see how that guy goes. And then outside of the fence, we planted some ivy, and the ones that are all on this side, which is like directly in the sun, aren't doing so hot. But I've got another one here, and then one here, one outside this area of the fence, right over here, and then one over there. And my idea is that hopefully one day all of this fencing is covered in ivy. So that's what we got going on there. Here, I've had some beautiful lilies in the past. I need to weed whack this, but and I've replanted some bulbs this year, and those darn chickens, we finally figured out where they were getting into the garden from. They had dug a hole, but anyways, they have ruffled up the bulbs in here, so we'll see if those come up. Who knows? Like I said, we definitely have some trials and tribulations, but we'll see what happens. This area, I like to plant dahlias, and once again, the chickens came and kind of moved those tubers, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully they'll come up. If not, I'm going to plant some other flowers from seed. So I'll give it a couple more weeks. So out here, outside of the chicken coop, you can see in here, at our little chicks, they're getting so big. They're not so little anymore. Probably won't get any eggs from these guys for at least another 2 to 3 more months. But they are getting big, and all but one survived. So we have 18 chicks to go with the other 7 chickens that we had. So we're gonna have quite a few. Anyways, I have some lilies here. I planted some lavender. I want to go buy some Russian sage because that does really well here. I'd love to have all this area be kind of like purple and kind of block the chicken coop. But then I also did some climbing clematis. that should come up and block the coop as well. So, yeah. Oh, hey, little guy. Hi. In this area, I planted some zinnias that will hopefully come up, and I hear that zinnias reseed really well, so even though they're annuals, they will hopefully come back each year. I'm super excited about my peony plants because this is their second year, and as you can see, I got a bud there. They should have quite a few buds this year, so I'm super excited about that. You want to go jump on the trampoline? Okay, you go jump. You can go jump. Close the gate. Close the gate, monkey. Nice work. Nice work, Sai. Okay, go jump. Yeah, you can jump too. Anyways, here's another peony plant. Once again, second year. It's coming back super strong. These ones I did buy as plants, so I was hoping they'd come back, and they did. And then this is the third one that I bought in that group. So that's coming back. I skipped some honeysuckle. So this is something I planted last year as well. This has started budding and starting to come in. I'm really hoping that this really takes off this year. We have another one in the yard that took off a little better last year, but I think it's going to continue to come back. They just continue. We got another one right here. And then in here, we planted some strawberries that are starting to come up. You see, I think there's like 3 or 4 sprouts in there, so those are looking good. This brick wall, I'm working to beautify. Oh, a little fruit by the foot trash. Clean that up. But I planted these purple flowers last year, and they are coming back super strong, so I'm super excited for that. And I think halfway through the year I might take some clippings and then put them in other areas so that we have more of that growing. And then I also planted some basil here because this is right outside my kitchen, so I'm gonna let that go to seed, and that should also be very beautiful purple flowers. This wisteria plant is 3 years old. The first year it did really well. Last year it did okay. I mean, definitely flowered and came up. But this year we have lots of sprouts starting. So I'm super excited. The idea is that one day that's going to cover all of this fencing at the front of the house and be super gorgeous. This bed, I planted both of these 2 peony plants, this one and then this guy over here, from like a bulb. And the first year they were not very strong at all. In fact, they didn't even flower. Second year came back. This year they're looking as good as the ones that I bought as plants. And then in this area I also planted some more basil and some more zinnias. The final thing I just want to show you that I'm super excited about is way out here. We really don't have many neighbors, but we do have one house. I don't even think you can see it here, but you can see it from our deck. So we wanted to plant some trees to kind of block that house. And what we did was I bought some $9 aspen trees because we live in the Aspen Valley. And 3 have really come back super strong. So this guy is our best. He's really coming in strong. This guy is doing pretty darn good himself. These are the 2 that aren't doing so good, but there are a couple little seedlings right here, little sprouts. So I'm hopeful that they'll come. We'll see what happens. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. And this guy at least is coming up from the bottom. So maybe I just need to prune off the top and he'll come back next year. And then we have one last one over there. But anyways, aspens, I've been told, like, don't plant them. They're like weeds. And I'm like, if I could get a weed aspen grove growing on in here, I would be delighted just to have some extra color going into the fall. So anyways, that's my garden tour. If you watched, thank you for watching. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this, but it's on there, and I figured you got to start from somewhere. So this is my attempt to document our journey in gardening. And if you're watching, thanks for coming along. I hope you all have a great day. Bye. Peace. Let's see, how do I end this?